And a good morning to you. Welcome to our Bird Notes. I'd like to talk this morning about a man who, on occasion, played a rustic flute, and who, on occasion, wore lace on his sleeves, but more often than not wore buckskin, and who shot and killed a lot of birds. John James Audubon, or, as his father might have pronounced it, Audubon. The famous artist, frontier explorer, and ornithologist was born April 26, 1785, in what is now Haiti, the illegitimate son of a French planter and a Creole woman. Audubon gained worldwide fame for his monumental The Birds of America, 435 full-color paintings published in elephant folio size beginning in 1827. Published serially, the work required 11 years and frequent excursions to the American frontier and to and from London for completion. Others had painted birds before him, of course, but it was Audubon who first set out to and succeeded in capturing the spirit and essence of the birds he painted. His renderings in various media are not stiff in pose, but naturalistic and imbued with life. I thought of this again recently when I saw his painting of the yellow-breasted chat, the birds depicted in their peculiar floppy flying mode. Like any genius, Audubon was a man of paradoxes. He was a failure at normal occupations, but determined and single-minded in his pursuit and painting of birds and the publication of his book. He was often depicted, by himself and others, as a colorful backwoodsman, dressed in buckskin, rifle in hand, and a little flute in his pack. And so he was, but he also made his way through the elevated circles in European society in order to promote himself and his works, and he studied briefly with the painter Jacques David in Paris. Yet another paradox is that in the course of his work he shot and killed birds regularly, almost casually, from warblers to eagles. This was done for study, however, and Audubon expressed in his journals a sadness at and a resistance to the destruction of the great American wilderness. The Audubon movement began as a lobby to preserve this wilderness and its birds. The final curiosity I'd like to mention this morning has to do with names. One might think that the man who gave his name to an entire movement and discovered a couple of dozen new species of birds might be well represented among the lists of names of birds. But not so. Audubon's name shows up as a subspecific designation for a hermit thrush, a caracara, and a black-headed oriole. Auduboni is still retained as the specific name for a race of what is now called the yellow-rumped warbler, which used to be called Audubon's warbler. So the only North American bird to carry Audubon's name now in its common name is Audubon's shearwater, a bird few of us ever see. But then we can still see and enjoy his paintings, the life work of a curious American genius.